Welcome to Universal Studios Japan. This is one of the top attractions in Japan, but that also means it can be very crowded and long waiting time. Actually, you might not be able to even enter the park if you just randomly come to the park on that day. Or even if you could enter the park, you might not be able to enjoy certain areas like Nintendo World. You might end up disappointing yourself or your family, loved one without knowing certain rules. But I understand Universal Studios will be just one part of your trip in Japan, and you cannot spend that much time just for the Universal Studio to research just for that. So today I'd like to introduce you to how not to fail your visit to Universal Studios Japan, and you can leave the park with a happy smile with a lifetime memory like I did. If you are visiting for the first time or haven't been there for a long time, please watch until the end and prepare for it, because just watching this one video, you are ready for the Universal Studio mostly. This video is presented to you with the sponsor of the online travel agency Klook. Klook is a leading ticket seller of Universal Studios Japan. The great thing about Klook's ticket is you can purchase the passes on the klook.com or Klook app, and you can directly go into the gate of the Universal Studio scanning the QR code from your app. It makes your trip stress-free than the other passes that you have to exchange to the ticket at the ticket booth. Also, Klook carries some tickets you don't see in other sites, like the one with early entry. You can get online tickets for attractions, day tours, and even train tickets and rail passes in Japan. Everything you need for Japan trip all in one site or one app. You can combine booking in your language and currency, so if you haven't used Klook site, please get a Klook app or check out the online site klook.com. This time I purchased Studio Pass and Express Pass for Universal Studios Japan. I'd like to show you how to get the ticket, how you can use the ticket at the entrance, and also at each attraction for the Express Pass. Let's start from purchasing Studio Passes. First thing to get is the Studio Pass. The price of Studio Pass changes depending on the date. For my date in March, it was $65. Price varies around $60 to $72 depending on the date of the entry, and also the price in the US dollars changes depending on the currency exchange rate. For most reasonable date, I saw 1 day pass was about $58, 1.5 days pass $90, and 2 days pass about $111. With this pass, you can get on any attractions without any additional cost. But in addition, there are some ways to boost your experience. That is Express Pass. Express Pass is the pass you can guarantee the entry to the restricted area, like Nintendo World, and also it lets you skip the long waiting line for some attractions. This Express Pass is not just one kind. With Express Pass 4, you can skip the line of 4 attractions, and with Express Pass 7, you can skip the line of 7 attractions. What you can get with Express Pass is different, depending on which Express Pass you get. My Express Pass was one called Fun Choice, and it's including the express lanes to Yoshi's Adventure and Flying Hippogriff and Minions and Jaws. It was $120. That is okay, and some of you might have noticed it's not including the most popular rides, and yes, on the date I booked, the only pass available was not for the most major attractions like Mario Kart. So it's also good to know what kind of attractions you want to get on, which I go over later in this video as a quick guide of areas and attractions. Just something you might want to be careful is, not all Express Pass comes with this entry to Nintendo World, so you might want to check what comes with the pass. You can check with this description part. So the attractions that you can skip the lines already fixed to the pass that you purchase, so you might want to be careful and choose the right one. Price varies and availability is limited, so I recommend to check early. It's not a reasonable options, but if there are certain rides you like to get on for sure and guarantee entry to Nintendo World, it gives you peace of mind for the whole trip if you have this pass. But still, it was $120. Is it expensive? You will see if it's worth later in this video. Even though I had this Express Pass, I also tried to see how you can get by just with the Studio Pass, and I found some ways to enter the Nintendo world and shorten the waiting time. Now let's enter the park. When you enter the park, let's keep it light and still let's keep everything you need in the park. First, you cannot enter the park with suitcases. There are coin lockers before you enter the gate, but the number is limited. Also, it's not big enough to put the large suitcases. In that case, the locker is full, you have larger suitcases, you can go to the guest service center and check in your luggage for 1,500 yen. But the number is limited. If possible, you might want to leave your suitcase in the hotel or send to the next destination with a delivery service from your hotel or from the airport. For most of the coin lockers, you cannot open again once you lock it, and also you cannot re-enter the park again with the ticket. So you might want to make sure that you have everything you need on that day, and everything in suitcase is something you don't need that day in the park. Now, what time should you go to the park? If you see the site, you can check the opening hours of the Universal Studios Japan. But usually, the park is open earlier than that, even though they don't officially announce that time. The day I visited was the day they open at 8 a.m. in the timetable, so I arrived there before 7, around 6:50 a.m. in the morning. There were already lines of people. From the answer first, it opened at 7:15 a.m. to everyone. And at 7 a.m., the visitors with early entry pass started to go in. What is early entry? This early entry is another thing good to know, as there aren't much information even on the official site, and I saw some people around me thought the park is open but my line is not moving and worried. If you stay at the official hotels of Universal Studios through certain Japanese site, you can purchase hotel package with early entry at extra cost. You can enter the park 15 minutes early. But this is the agency mainly Japanese visitors use and only in Japanese language. It sounds not fair, but don't worry. Klook sells tickets with early entry on certain dates, and you don't even have to stay on the official hotels. You can just purchase tickets with early entry. The number is limited and not available for every day, but if you find the choice on that day you visit, you might be able to consider it. If you have the tickets for early entry on the date opening at 8, you cannot come there 7:45. You have to come 15 minutes before the unofficial time of opening, which is 7 on this date. Before you enter the park, make sure you connect your ticket information to the app, because you need your ticket information to get the timed tickets for the entry to Nintendo World. I saw people in the line reading their paper ticket with a phone, so I was like, wait, I have on my phone, so how do I do that? But it was easy. First, display your tickets on the phone and take a screenshot. And you can just upload that photo to the Universal Studios official app. And it automatically reads the QR code and it's done. I recommend you to do this before you go through the gate, so you can obtain the timed ticket as soon as you enter the park. In case you are traveling with 2 or more members, one person can read all the studio passes and can control all the passes with one smartphone. Somehow, the only line I was waiting had a security gate like the one in the airport, so no wonder this line was slightly shorter than other lines. It takes a little more time as they put bags in the machine. For other lanes, you can just open your bags and show it to the staff, but on this lane I was waiting, you don't have to open bags, but instead, you can put all the keys and devices in the bag you have and get it checked. You cannot bring foods unless it's for babies or snack for kids, but you can bring drinks in the pet bars to the park. With Klook site, you can just use direct train, which means you can enter the park directly with a QR code and no need to exchange to the paper ticket at the booth. After the security, you can scan your QR code displayed on your app. Now you're ready to go, and your day at the Universal Studio starts. But you might wonder why you have to go to the park so early. The reason people came here so early is Nintendo World. So let me explain as I walk there. One of the biggest attractions in Universal Studios Japan is the Nintendo World. It's a popular zone in the park with Nintendo characters, and they are also expanding in spring 2024 with Donkey Kong Country that will be a part of the Nintendo World. So it's very important. But Nintendo World is not a big area and they restrict the number of the people who can enter the zone. Usually, after the first rush of people enter the Nintendo World in the morning, they block the entry and they start to give away the timed slot tickets for the entry. If the timed slot is all gone to the night time, they give away standby tickets. Standby means you can get if you win the lottery, which I hear even with the frequent visitors haven't won the standby lottery, so better not to expect this one. So to guarantee the entry to the Nintendo World, there are 3 ways. One is get Express Pass that gives you the time entry. This is the safest way to guarantee, but also it costs. Second way is get timed entry with the official Universal Studio apps as soon as you enter the park. And number 3 is be the first in the morning before they limit the gate. So I already have an Express Pass guarantees entry to Nintendo World in the afternoon, but I know it won't be the choice for everybody, so I'm giving it a try to enter the Nintendo World in the morning. So as soon as you enter the park, everyone rushes to Nintendo World. And everyone turns right because most of the attractions of the Universal Studios in the right side. And I saw staff were counting in their hand how many people are entering the Nintendo World, and I successfully enter the area before they limit. So before they limit this entry, you cannot make a reservation for the time slot on the Nintendo World. And once the Nintendo World got full, they start to release the timed entry tickets. You can apply for this without any charge from the official Universal Studios app. If you are not reaching the Nintendo World area yet, you might want to keep checking the app for the status. For timed ticket, you must have the official app of the Universal Studios Japan. So I recommend to get the 2 apps ready before you enter the Universal Studios. One is a Klook app that you can show your Studio Pass and Express Pass, and the other one is this official app of the Universal Studios Japan. This one you only can register after you enter the park. Probably they recognize that your QR code was scanned at the entry gate, so no matter how close you go by the park, without any entry you cannot register. On this day on Thursday, I saw the time slot around the morning time was still there, but I saw some review. While they're exchanging the voucher to the ticket in the morning at the booth, the timed entry for Nintendo was all gone until the night slot. So if you don't have Express Pass and cannot walk that fast after the park open, early entry might be a good option to look for, because it's a little bit far from the entrance. Now I'm in Nintendo World, and something I rushed to was the probably most popular attraction in the park now, the Mario Kart. The ride was just like you are in the world of the game. Now let's quickly go over what kind of areas Universal Studios has and what are the major attractions they have. The first one is where I am now, Nintendo World. Here, except this Mario Kart, they have Yoshi's Adventure, and this spring, Donkey Kong Country with a coaster ride will be added as part of the Nintendo World. Right after the Nintendo World is Water World. I don't know how many young visitors know about the movie with Kevin Costner, but the show is still going, just as it started in Hollywood more than 20 years ago. Near the Water World, what you see is the entrance to Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park area has Jurassic Park and Flying Dinosaur. Unfortunately, Jurassic Park was under maintenance, so closed for today, but there's another popular ride, and that is Flying Dinosaur, that you grabbed your back by the flying dinosaur and swung around the air. And I'm not a big fan of the roller coaster, but I got on this. Later, let's talk about it. In the middle of the park connecting Nintendo World and the entrance, there's a Amity Village, where the Jaws ride is. Since there aren't real movie studios here, unlike Hollywood one, Jaws ride exists as an independent ride. It's like the Jaws version of the Jungle Cruise in Disneyland. This area has 2 major attractions, Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey and Flight of Hippogriff. In the park, you see many visitors wearing the hat of Mario, but also with the robe of Hogwarts School. By the entrance, there is a children's favorite area, Universal Wonderland. This is a place many characters gather such as Hello Kitty, Snoopy, and Sesame Street. Another popular area with children is Minion Park. Here there is a ride of Minion. Near the entrance is the Hollywood area. There are many shops and the Hollywood Dream is another roller coaster. You can listen to a song from a speaker next to you. This area also has Sing on tour from the movie Sing. For the show-style attraction like Sing and Water World, there is a time schedule, so you might want to put on the schedule first if you like to see. In addition, there is a parade called No Limit. The concept is like have no limit to yourself and let's enjoy. If you are in the line on the attraction, you cannot see these events and shows, so you might want to make sure you avoid to be on the ride before the parade time. The parade is with all star characters from Japan, Pokemon, Mario and Hello Kitty, and from America, Snoopy, Sesame Street and Minions. And now let's see how the Express Pass I got to work. When you purchase the Express Pass, depending on the availability, you can choose a time slot you get. That might help you to optimize your plan of the day. I had Express Pass 4 for Yoshi, Minion, Flight of Hippogriff, and Jaws. These are not top attractions, but it still has a line for more than 100 minutes. But you can cut the line with the Express Pass. The attraction's cast member will scan the code and you can go. There are still some wait, but it was no longer than 10 minutes wait. Well, let's see other ways to shorten your waiting time, and that is single rider. Some major ride has a third lane after the regular lane and express pass lane, and that is for the single rider. I tried this with the Jurassic Dinosaur. You don't have to be a single visitor like me to take advantage of this lane. Basically, you are invited to join the ride when there is an odd number group in the regular lane. For this Flying Dinosaur, it has 4 seats in one line, so single rider can get on the spot when there is a group of 3. As I'm not a big fan of the roller coaster, as a line in front of me got shorter, I started to think of the excuse like 5 reasons why I shouldn't be here, but my turn came. Right before my ride, group of 2 and 4 continued, but after seeing some roller coasters go, I was next to the 3 young ladies. I was very nervous, but one lady dropped her nail on the ground as soon as the ride faced the ground, which is a position of the grabbed by the dinosaur. And everyone was laughing, so it really was really funny and made me relaxed. When I got on, the waiting time for the regular lane was 140 minutes and single lane was 120 minutes. But as a result, I finished the ride and came out in 60 minutes after I entered the lane. So I'm not sure how long the wait was actually in the regular lane, but single lane does cut the time. Child switch. A good tips for family with children is child switch. For family with children cannot get the ride with height restriction, usually one of the adults has to give up to get on the ride to stay with the small children, but if you get the card of the child switch from the cast members, one adult can go fast to ride, and after coming back, he or she can wait with the small children, and the one waited can go on the ride without waiting. But before you wait in the line at the entrance of the attraction, you can ask for the child switch card. And after you wait in the line and came close to the attraction, so you separate to 2 groups. One member get on to the ride, one member wait, and when one group come back, the other group waited can get on the ride without waiting. Specifically for the Hollywood Wonderland, in the kids area, there is a booking system called Yoyaku Nori. You can make reservation for the time slot one by one and you can go to the ride without waiting. This is especially made for the family with children that are difficult to wait in the long line. Something important to know in the park is that dining can be very busy just like attractions. I ate at Kinopio Cafe in the Nintendo World. This Kinopio Cafe is called Toadstool Cafe in English, according to the different name of the character in English. The cafe opened at 9 a.m. and I still had 30 minutes, but I knew it gets hard to find places after, so I decided to wait. It was such a great idea that I could see the opening of the Kinopio cafe and every staff were very friendly waving hands. You order at the counter and pay, you just get drinks you ordered, and they guided me to the seat. I was guided to the seat for single visitors. The staff were saying that it is a power spot under the tree. The price is a theme park price that trended recently, so you might want to be ready for it.
じゃあマリオバーガーですね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
はい、上のねマリオの帽子のピックは持って帰っていただいて結構なので、
そうなんですね。
ぜひお持ち帰りください。
ありがとうございます。Mario Burger was really good with lots of mushrooms, and you can take this little red cap to home. Taking a rest in the air-conditioning restaurants is a good idea to survive a long day at the park. When I left the restaurant in about 30 minutes, there was already a long line. In the park, you see many vendors and shops selling street food. You can sit on the park and eat. For snacks, something popular is popcorn. But finding a place to eat can be a major issue, and you might need to see at least 1 hour wait at the restaurant, just like attractions. So it might be a good idea to put in your schedule just like the attraction and avoid breakfast and eat very early like I did, or also eat very late. Not everything is themed cafe at Universal Studios Japan. You can also get a good glass of beer at the bar too. At this restaurant, Finnegan's Bar and Grill, you can get beer and some bar food like fish and chips or full set of the meal. I ordered a roasted chicken and no alcohol drink. The restaurant was full with Western customers, like where were all these people in the daytime? So I guess many visitors prefer regular menu for the dinner. If you like to avoid the line, for 3 full-service restaurants in the Universal Studios, you can make online reservation in advance that lets you go to the front of the queue. But this one needs to be well planned in advance. They start to accept reservation at 11 a.m. online in Japan time, which is 10 p.m. in Eastern Summer time. And as you see, I only saw that exactly 1 month later day. In this slot, I didn't take it, but it was gone quickly. So if you like to be prepared, you might want to keep in your calendar that as a day you have to make a reservation. When it comes to the dining, something you might want to know is at Universal Studios Japan, vegan options are not available at all restaurants and limited. You might want to keep in your mind that in Japan, the food culture is not really very sensitive about it, even though it's changing little by little. But some restaurants carry plant-based menu and also pork-free, non-alcohol menu. Menu might change, so you might want to ask the staff before you order. There are dining options outside the park too. There is a Universal City Walk that is a commercial area connecting JR Universal City Station and Universal Studios entrance. It has convenience stores like Lawson and 7-Eleven, Japanese food chains like Moss Burger and Sushiro. If you miss Western foods, they also have Hard Rock Cafe and Uba Gumption. The best thing here, and remind me that actually I'm in Osaka, is Takoyaki Park. You can compare from the different takoyaki restaurants and it was really good. Now let's go to the price breakdown. The studio pass was about $63. Express pass was $118, so the total price for the pass was about $180. I spent about $40 for dining, $20 for souvenirs, and I borrowed a rental power bank for about $3. Roughly about $65 in the park total. So total for this visit was $245. And there are some tips I found out in the park. And one is bring drinks. Food are not allowed to bring into the park except the baby foods and snack for kids, but drinks in the pet bottles are okay. So the drinks is 300 yen inside the park, and some of them are 200 yen for hot drinks, and choice is limited. So you might want to bring some pet bottle drinks from the convenience store or the supermarket if you are staying in the city. And second is get apps in advance. As you watch this video, you might be able to download apps and see around how it works. The must-have app here is Universal Studios Japan's official app. That is important to get a time ticket. And in my case, the important pass was the Klook app, so I can show the studio pass and also express pass at the entry of the attractions. And third tip is Conquer language barrier. This is also for all over Japan, but it might be helpful to have a Google Translate to find out what the sign or menu says. Some shows are in Japanese in Universal Studios Japan, but I saw every park members are trying to accommodate visitors from other countries too with English. The cast members here are like a gem, always waving hands and smiling, so if you have something to worry about or not sure, instead of just staring at the phone for a long time, it might be a good idea to just ask to the staff. And next one is bring power bank or portable charger. You use your smartphone a lot in the park for taking photos, to see the online map, and check waiting time, to get entry pass at Nintendo World. My cord was broken previous night and I went to purchase the lightning cable at the 7-Eleven, but I got wrong cord. So I fully charged my phone in the morning, but I lost my power very quickly by the early afternoon. The only problem is that I cannot show the express pass at the attraction entrance without my phone. But inside the park, there is a service of the mobile battery rentals. There are several ports in different locations, usually by the bathroom, and there were many people finding out how to use it around the late afternoon. I returned it in about 45 minutes before I get on the extra ride, as I don't know how long the wait will be, but it's charged from 18% to 65% in 45 minutes. It saved me a lot mentally. Something to be careful is it comes up as a monthly plan that you can get for 390 yen a month, but after I applied for it and paid for it, it showed up that the rental at Universal Studios is out of the plans of the monthly plan, so please make sure to get one-time plan. Maybe it said somewhere, but I didn't have time to read when I'm busy in the park. And stay online. There is a Wi-Fi in the park, but it connects and cuts and not stable when you need to check information, and also when you apply for the ticket and show QR code to the cast members. It will be a problem if you are not online. So it's always a good idea to take the screenshot, but also it might be better to get international data plans from your phone carriers. If that doesn't work, getting portable Wi-Fi or eSIM card when you arrive in Japan would be also a great idea. And be ready for the line. Unless you purchase the Express 7 Pass, it's inevitable to wait at some point for a long line. So I recommend you to carry cap and sunglasses and sunscreens in summer and wear warm in winter. And this might not be important, but mask is not mandatory in Japan anymore. You might notice everyone is wearing masks in my footage even in 2024, but please do not worry, it's not like you have to wear a mask. And the reason I wear masks sometimes in my video is I have a strong pollen allergy in March, and you have a choice of wear or not, so please do not worry about that. The filming policy, and this is something I noticed a lot of the signs, but you basically cannot film during your ride for safety and copyright reason. The regulation depends on the ride, but the only ride I could film as I'm on the ride was Yoshi's Adventure in Nintendo World. In the park, you cannot bring gimbal or selfie stick, but if it's a size you can hold in your hand without extension, you can hold it under the height of your head. It might not always go as you plan, but planning definitely saves your time and improves your experience in the park. Now, upon planning, something you might want to be careful is avoid weekend and Japanese holidays. It's a fun place any time in the year, but you might want to avoid the weekend for the better experience. The park can be intensely busy on the weekend, and some long holidays like Golden Week, which is from April 29th to May 5th, and also on August 13th and end of the year, it can be very busy. Considering that you might have to wait for a long time in the line, if possible, it might be a good idea to go on the spring or the fall when the weather is nice. But theme park is also a fun place in midsummer, so make sure to bring sunscreen, sunglasses, and a cap or a hat. Plan the timetable over the day. The best thing you can do without spending extra is go early and eat early. Make sure to visit the park early and eat in different timing. Universal Studios Japan is close to Osaka station, and there are major rush hour with full of people in totally different mood from people going to have the blast time at Universal Studios Japan from now. So if possible, you might want to avoid using the rush hour train. I got on the evening rush hour with my suitcase and it was just difficult to find the space. So it can be even worse in the morning. The best idea is to get the hotel near the park, which I did previous night of the park visit. The best places to stay for the Universal Studio visit is the hotels around the Universal Studios. There are 8 hotels around the Universal Studio Japan that are called official hotels. There's no hotels directly connected to the park unlike Disney Resort. And the major hotels are Keihan, Kintetsu, Oriental, Parkfront, and Universal Port, and Universal Port Vita, and Singularity. I stayed at this Singularity Hotel and Spa, which I found a good deal this day. It's right outside the JR station and very convenient. It smells very good inside the hotel, and the big attraction of this hotel is the public bath on the 14th floor. You can enjoy the outdoor bath and sauna overlooking the skyline of Osaka City. So even just to take the bus, I want to go back to this hotel. This hotel is right in front of the Universal City Station and actually the closest to the station gate. So I can say the best way to get to this hotel is the JR trains. Now let's see how to get to this Universal Studio Japan. If you come from Tokyo or other parts of Japan by Shinkansen, you will arrive at Shin Osaka Station. From Shin Osaka Station, you can take local Tokaido line to Osaka Station, change to Osaka Loop line. All trains that you need to take for Universal Studio leaves from the platform number 1 of Osaka Station. If the train is bound for Sakurajima, you don't have to change. If other directions, you can change at the Nishikujo Station, which is a 3-stop from the Osaka Station. The major international airport in Osaka is Kansai International Airport with airport code KIX, which we called Kanku in Japanese. If you go directly from the Kansai Airport to the Universal Studios, you can take either trains or bus. The Kanku Rapid Train of JR West goes directly to Nishikujo Station, and there you can change to Yumesaki Line to Universal City Station. I took JR West Haruka, which now stops at Osaka Station, and go to Kyoto. The train itself is a reserved seat and convenient, but it doesn't stop at Nishikujo, so it was a little walking at the Osaka Station. Again, trains leaving from the platform number 1 of the Osaka Station. The bus to Universal Studios leaving from the bus stop number 3 of the Terminal 1's arrival floor. The bus goes to Universal Studios with some stops, some directly to Universal Studios. But you might not want to jump on it because it arrives at Universal Studios bus terminal and not at the hotel. The bus is great if you have lots of luggage and you don't have to deal with train system of Japan, but you might have to walk more, depends on where your hotel is. The theme park was a very fun place, but something makes this park special is the very helpful and friendly cast members here. I went there by myself, but even with that, I could feel welcome and they made me comfortable. I usually don't talk to staff so much, but I could easily talk to them asking questions about the ride. And without exception, I got a great smile and a professional explanation about everything I asked. The cast members totally make you into the fun world and make me feel I want to go back there again. If you are interested in Universal Studio Japan or are planning to go there, please download the Klook app now and find the Studio Pass and Express Pass for Universal Studio Japan. Klook also has tickets for other activities in Osaka, Kyoto, and also train tickets to other parts of Japan. Of course, they have a Universal Studios ticket for Orlando and Hollywood too. Thank you Klook for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great visit to Universal Studio Japan in Osaka. Have a great trip to Japan. Have a great week until the next video.